Hello. Well, it's Monday afternoon and we are back at the boat, having had a little break to go to Birmingham to see one of my favourite bands in the whole world, the Slambovian Circus of Dreams. And now we're back on the boat and we're heading off with a destination in mind of Nantwich, but we'll see if we get there. For now, let's just enjoy this lovely canal with its cuttings and embankments. A word about the Shropshire Union canal. This canal is a younger canal than the Staffs of Worcester, and it was built by Telford, and he used modern techniques of cuttings and embankments to make the canal much straighter. That meant faster transport, so it could potentially compete with the railways, which of course were a thing by the time this canal was built. Brindley canals had no competition, so they followed the contours of the land, which was cheaper, although they were much slower. But that's why they're so twisty. And this one is so straight. It does mean you get these fantastic cuttings with the trees arching over you. And then you get embankments with views over the surrounding countryside. So a very grand and beautiful canal, the Shropshire Union. Look forward to sharing it with you. And here we are, a fine example of what I was talking about. A dead straight section of canal. I find it harder to steer a boat in a straight line than round bends. You really need very fine adjustments to keep the boat going efficiently and not weaving from side to side. The hot, dry weather seems to have brought autumn early. This is the former milk depot at On Wharf, now converted into this amazing house, with of course its own mooring. And here we have Lord Talbot's Wharf, apparently owned once by an agricultural gentleman. Clearly a very rich one. Serious motorhoming. Nice and convivial. Gardening on a grand scale, boating wise. And here we are, going through another cutting through Chamberlain's Covert on this occasion.
Just seen a kingfisher along here. It's Cowley Tunnel. It's a little mini tunnel, 81 yards.
And here we are, Nosal Heath, just the other side of that tunnel, and a nice little mooring, bit shady, but we're going to be moving on tomorrow, so shouldn't be too much of a problem, and it may give us some shelter from the predicted thunderstorms tomorrow morning. I always find it slightly disorientating, these transfer days. This morning I woke up in a hotel on a busy street on the outskirts of Birmingham. I've been on 2 trains, 1 bus and a narrowboat, and here I am in Nosal Heath. And as is customary, although it's 5 o'clock, we will do a short walk to explore where we've moored. So let's go. A quintessentially canal settlement is Nosal Heath, replicated so many times on the canal network. Pretty little houses, moored boats, a couple of nice traditional pubs. We've never really had a chance to look around, so we'll just have a little walk round now so we can explore where we're moored. Something we always like to do. And there is Judith, braving the corn. Here we have Cowley Bridge, where we were a short while ago. And we'll curl round from here over the top of Cowley Tunnel. So folks, this is what it looks like on the top of a cutting. Most boaters spend their time in the bottom of the cuttings, but get off your boat and have a look round and see what it's like on the top. And now, in this gorgeous woodland, we're on top of Nosal Tunnel, which is cutting through the rocks beneath us. Wouldn't know it though, would you? Apart from the rumble of the occasional passing boat. And here we emerge into the suburban streets of Nosal Heath. So last time we were in Nosal Heath, we ate at the navigation. It's only fair that we try out the boat, as part of research of course. I'm getting partial to our pint of Banks, a nice easy drinking beer. Cheers. Good morning from Nosal Heath. We had a pleasant evening under the trees. The promised rain hasn't arrived, so a short hop today to Norbury Junction. Pretty little junction where there is a boatyard and a chandlery. So I think we'll stop off there. See you later. Here we are at Norbury Junction. Very pretty little junction. And at the end of the embankment we've been going over, you get an idea of the immensity of Telford's last canal when you look down from this embankment onto the surrounding countryside. Immense feat of engineering. He died before it was completed apparently. So Norbury Junction is a really quaint little junction with a boatyard, a chandlery, this rather quaint little tea room, which certainly looking at the menu does rather scrummy food, although I haven't eaten there myself. And the junction is with this little arm here used for mooring and boat painting, but this was the Shrewsbury and Newport Canal, which is apparently under restoration, although this is as far as it goes at the moment from Norbury Junction. So let's go and have a look at the countryside around Norbury Junction. And this moat, which we've come across unexpectedly, was the site of the old Norbury Manor, built in the early 1300s and demolished finally in the 1800s because it had become run down and dilapidated. And it stood on the platform surrounded by this moat. And it's strange that we've only come a few miles down the canal from Wheaton Aston, but instead of those great fields of wheat, we now find ourselves on these fairly heavily wooded hillsides. Complete different in just a few miles. And there on this busy road is the canal, way beneath us in its cutting. Let's hope we can get down to it. And that busy road, in fact, is going over this well-known double-arch bridge with the telegraph pole in the middle of it, here in Grub Street Cutting. We will probably see this again tomorrow when we cruise past it, or under it, hopefully. And so the aim is to turn left at this fine bridge to head back towards our boat. And here we are just off the canal in Linton Moss Nature Reserve. Just listen. Middle of nowhere, or so you'd think. And here we are, emerging onto Grub Street, which gives its name to that cutting we've just been in. And here is Norbury, the village that gives its name to the junction. A village with no pavements, it appears. Back at the charming Norbury Wharf. We've had a busy old day, a bit of a cruise, done some jobs on the boat, and that walk. So I think it's now time to just sit back and enjoy the peace of this lovely section of canal. See you in the morning. Morning. Well, as you can see, we had some much needed rain overnight, but it seems to be brightening up now. So I think we'll head off through that Grub Street cutting that we saw a little bit of on our walk yesterday. There is a famous pub, the Anchor, which is our target today. Not far away, but we thought we should take the opportunity to drop in whilst we can. We're through the cutting and the rain's coming down, so we're heading for the Anchor Inn, and I think we'll stop there. Don't need to do any more today, and if it's going to rain, I don't think we should. And coming into view, the Anchor Inn with its visitor moorings outside, so I think we'll stop here. Right, well, the rain seems to have let up and the weather says it's going to brighten up, so we'll have a little look around, shall we? First notable feature is this line of historic boats that seems to be moored up just near our moorings. Not just one, but several of them. Okay, so we leave the cutting up onto this bridge and we'll turn left and see what happens.
No, I didn't see this before. Oh, good fun. Oh, this is lovely.
Just climbing along this slippery, slopey path right on the edge of Grub Street cutting with views over farmland. I see boats through the trees.
Pointing that way, I think. Yeah.
Just on the outskirts of Woods Eaves, a diversion caused by East Staffordshire closing a footpath, but not all bad because we've come across this rather pretty looking farm. Lovely. They look a bit suspicious. Nice view though. And here we are in High Offley, a little out of the way place, high up on a hill. The canal's down towards my left. You'd never see this sort of place unless you were cruising your boat, decided to moor up and decided to go for a walk. Real backer beyond. And you can see how high we are. It's not the clearest of days, but if I zoom in you might just catch the shadow of the Wrekin some miles away. Here's High Offley Manor, clearly under reconstruction. Be pretty impressive when it's finished, I would have thought. And this bridge has seen better days. I'll go first. I see boats on a sea of corn. Here we are on this path alongside the offside of the canal. Having to walk down here because the farmers planted sweet corn across the actual right of way and there's no way through. I'm hoping this leads to Shebden Wharf. Notice how the canal's above us, a sort of mini embankment, walking below the boats. Here we are back on the canal, and given the condition of the footpaths we've encountered so far, I think we'll cut our losses and walk back down the towpath to our boat. So, see you later. And here we are back at the boat, and there's the view up to High Offley, where we were a short while ago. So we're going to have a little bit of a sit down, and then we're going to visit, we hope, the Anchor Inn, an old-fashioned traditional canal-side pub. That's why we're moored here. So let's sample the Anchor, traditional canal-side pub, serving Wadworth 6X from the jug, apparently.
Shall we sit? Where should we sit? We're sitting here. Oh. In there. This is a pint of Wadworth 6X, originally brewed in 1923, and it was 6% originally. So the coopers used to put 6 X's on a cask, but then one cooper got lazy, so he just wrote a 6 and an X. So it's been called Wadworth 6X ever since.
Even though it's not 6% anymore.
Yeah,
I
no,
hope.
it's 4.5% now.
Ah, that's all right then.
It's a gorgeous pint there, gorgeous. Oh, lovely.
Well, we had a fantastic time at the Anchor. Elaine, the landlady, came to join us, and after a little while Sue came to join us as well, who was reliving a trip that she'd made with her husband some years ago all the way from Lancashire to Gloucester by canoe, would you believe? So we chatted for a long time, met some really interesting people, had a few too many beers, and probably went to bed too late. But anyway, it was great fun. So I think we'll leave you there. Next time we're going down the locks towards Nantwich, so I hope you can join us for that. But for now, bye bye.